Welcome to the Strongman Say podcast, another episode. It's been a minute, so welcome back. We're keen to be back after some competition stuff and a busy couple weeks. It's my fault because I came back from comp and moved house straight away.
Yeah, and it was Easter and everything else.
Yeah, it's been ages.
It's been a month. I've actually had a couple of people go, "When's the podcast coming out?"
We're not coming back, we're done.
Yeah. You should really keep going with it.
Yeah, no, we copped too much heat.
Yeah.
We can't handle it. No, we haven't for a while.
We could change it.
Pretty quickly, pretty easily.
Got plenty to say.
Believe it or not, we hold back a lot.
Yeah.
Before the camera starts rolling, it's a whole different conversation.
You get all the bad stuff out.
Yeah, we're gonna have a vent session before we start the podcast,
Yeah.
and then we start the podcast.
So,
Oh shit. First and foremost, not that he'll watch this, but congratulations to Mitch Hooper, one of our first guest as well. First guest, World's Strongest Man, not bad. World's Strongest Man was this weekend, and it would be amiss of us to do a Strongman podcast without talking about the biggest competition of the year.
that was middleweights, right?
Yeah, so we're going to start with middleweight series.
Do you start with the good or the bad?
World's Strongest Man, Mitch Hooper. Second, Tom Stoltman. Third, Novikov.
Yeah.
A big three podium. A very strong top three podium, right?
Yeah.
Like two previous winners and then Mitch Hooper. Mitch Hooper, first Canadian to win it. Also one of three people to win Arnold's and World's Strongest Man in the same year.
Yep.
Quite impressive.
Very, very impressive. It was following along on a live score sheet and random people's stories that I found as much as I could. Not the best way to watch it, but got the job done.
What we got for now, yeah.
Yeah. So coming into those last couple of events, it was very much like any of those three
Yeah.
kind of thing, which is rare.
Until the Stones, I think he had pretty much, unless he bombed the Stones and came sixth.
It was like going into dumbbell.
Yeah.
Because it was like Mitch is
Worst
generally
event.
not great at it. Truck pull he wasn't great at. Stones is inconsistent. So like coming into it in the lead, but three events that are like iffy.
Yeah.
And then Tom's was like, if he does bad on dumbbell, he's kind of done.
Yeah.
Novikov should have been good on those two. And then Stones would have been the thing of like, that's going to undo him. So could have gone anyway.
Yeah, which is exciting. For Josh, who doesn't probably know, you don't actually get to watch World's Strongest Man until they release the footage.
Really?
It's a TV, it's a TV show, right? So all the Strongman fans, and there's like, everyone posts it anyway. There's like live score sheets and stuff like that, but you don't actually get to watch the TV show and the actual events and the heats and stuff like that till they release it.
Oh, right. So it's just, how long's the delay between that?
December.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
So up until Eddie Hall won that year,
Yeah.
the winners, nobody was allowed to post what they came.
Oh.
So before Eddie Hall, like if you won it, you would just say nothing. And then in December, once it got aired, you'd be like,
I'm World's Strongest Man.
I'm World's Strongest Man.
Yeah.
What?
Which has changed a bit now. But I still don't understand. I mean, I'm sure there's like production and they release it for like holiday period and stuff like that. But it seems like a long delay.
Yeah.
Especially
it is
now
from
that-
April.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Especially now that like they announce it. Do you know what I mean? Like they have like media people there, there's posts, there's
They have their
videos.
own live score sheet.
Yeah, they have a live score sheet so you can follow along.
Right. That
Yeah.
does not seem like the most efficient way to do that.
Not to create buy-in and hype. Like,
Yeah.
let's say all your favorite strongmen are kind of posting stories and like videos and like a post saying I won. You want to kind of roll with that, and like a couple months later, while it's still hot,
Yeah.
be like, oh fuck yeah, I'm gonna watch that. It's come out.
Yeah.
Where it's like in 9 months, you're kind of like, oh yeah, I guess I'll watch World's Strongest Man. Like, it was a while ago. I've seen most of the videos from the people that I care about.
Yeah. It'll eventually change.
Yeah.
But it was just, even talking to a couple of the guys here, some of the clients that I've had that are from the UK.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, I remember growing up and like it'd be Christmas and everybody'd watch World's Strongest Man
It's the
because it would
Christmas
come
thing.
out.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like the holiday season,
Like
World's
from like
Strongest
the
Man.
90s all the way through to the 2000s. It was a big tradition.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So the TV rights to have that aired first must far outweigh what a live stream
Yeah.
product
Okay.
would pay.
Yeah. Couldn't they get the best of both worlds and have like the final day is like a live event? Whereas, but I guess it
The,
ruins
t-
the whole
the TV
build-up of
productions
show.
probably wouldn't pay
Yeah. Okay.
for something that's already been aired
Yeah.
and plastered everywhere.
Yeah.
So
Gotcha.
But from what we saw, pretty cool. Like the heats and stuff, pretty competitive with the top guys. Do you know what I mean? Which is always the case. The heats, like there's 2 or 3 guys in all the heats that were super competitive, and then the bottom end were just kind of like good to be there, having a crack. But
That's most top comps though.
no wild upsets in the heats. I didn't think. Like a few people like
Jacko.
Yep.
Getting to the finals.
Yep.
South African.
Yeah.
He stepped in for Iron Bibi because Iron Bibi,
Pulled out.
as always.
Yeah.
Like 2 hours before, so they have reserves there.
Yeah.
It was like Paul Smith had like 3 minutes his first year.
To get ready. Yeah, I remember this.
Yeah. They have reserves there so that if any athlete like warming up for the first event goes, nah, I'm out, or they don't pass a health check, they've got somebody sitting there to jump in their place. So he probably got like a few hours.
Yeah.
So, so he would have trained for it.
If
He
you
would
knew
have
you were a
prepped for
sub,
it.
you're getting ready for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're prepping like you're actually going to do it.
Yeah.
But then turned up, he's probably got shirts made, and he's just sitting there like, I'm probably not going to do anything. And they come up and they're like, yep, you're up. Old mate dropped out.
Okay.
Good on you.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Which is sick, which is really cool.
And then made the finals.
Yeah.
And
which
then
is-
did poorly in the finals, but
Yeah.
made the finals.
But I mean, there's a couple heats where, besides that, that's a good example. Looking at the heats, you could see who the top 3 battling for the top 2 places were going to be.
Yeah.
If not, there was only 2.
Yeah.
There was a couple heats where I was like, oh, even those 2, I can't see them doing great through the finals and stuff like that. There was a few, like I think heats 1 to 3 were really competitive.
1 and 3.
Yeah, 1 and
Were the
3.
worst,
Yeah. So, super interesting. Did you think, because you had Pavlo doing quite well,
Yeah.
didn't do amazing.
No, did well in the heats.
Yeah.
Won the shield carry.
Yeah.
But got a lap taken off him because he didn't cross the line.
Oh,
Yeah.
did you see the Tom Stoltman and Mitch Hooper thing? That was quite good.
No.
Tom Stoltman was
Oh, yeah, the head-to-head.
well ahead of
Yeah.
Mitch Hooper, and Mitch Hooper looked like he was struggling. So Tom like finished off and dropped the shield, and Mitch just like ground out like just past Tom and just looked at him. I know, it was pretty savage.
Well, I think Tom dropped it and was like number
Yeah.
one. Like, started celebrating and Mitch
that
just
was
like
embarrassing.
crab walking sideways.
And everyone was like giving him heat, but at the same time, you're a world's strongest man. You've got a bunch of events to do. It's a poor decision in hindsight, but at the time, you're trying to conserve energy, right?
His goal might have been top 2.
Yeah.
And he might have crossed what was the best place
Yeah.
and gone, I'm top 2.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what Mitch does.
Yeah.
But the angle and everything in his celebration really makes it look
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he turned and went like, I took it out.
Oh, yeah.
Which, yeah, you don't celebrate until it's done.
not like that, probably.
So, yeah, Pavlo's one, it looked like he crossed the line, and then there's a different angle, and he misses it by like this much.
Yeah.
The bad thing is there's one judge sitting between 2 athletes. He's just sitting on a chair, and he's giving them the all clear when they cross the line
Yeah, sure.
on both sides.
Yeah. So it's close as well.
So it was kind of like it looked like he signaled like it was all good, and obviously everybody in the crowd's like, no, he didn't cross the line. Pavlo's already turned around and walking back.
Yeah.
And he kind of sat up and then just sort of sat down.
It's really hard.
And he also doesn't speak English well. How do you yell out to him to come back and cross the line?
Come back. What?
What? I'm carrying.
Yeah. See you.
So, like, he should have crossed the line.
Yeah.
Fair, professional. But
Yeah.
a judge should just be standing going,
Yeah.
Yes,
and like
no.
one for each lane kind of thing,
Yeah.
like very clear. Because you mentioned earlier before the podcast and stuff, some of the reffing, I mean, high pressure situation for the reffing and stuff like
Yeah.
that too. But like some of the reffing on things like the dumbbell and stuff, which is sometimes a difficult one for ref to kind of nail, was a little bit iffy.
some are iffy and some are just straight out like, no.
Yeah.
There's no control.
Yeah. Yeah.
Magnus is getting old.
Yeah.
He's going soft.
Yeah. Because he was a rough
Yeah.
referee. Like he
For a
was like
long time.
Yeah, quite strict. So
Yeah.
yeah, difficult one at that level when you see the reffing and you're like sort of watching and you're a competitor in the sport
Yeah.
versus like a spectator, and you're like, oh, if I was competing and someone got that, I'd be a little bit fucking pissed.
Just jealous I don't get reps like that. I'd have a 120 dumbbell too if I could do it that way.
It's never me.
Yeah. But it was like lenient for everybody,
Yeah.
but it sucks for the people that have really good
Technicians,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Because they can't do it sloppy.
Yes.
It's either perfect or it's a miss.
Yep.
And they're punished by that because they're lenient to everybody that's like bent in half sideways.
Yeah.
Like, sure.
Not standing through kind of thing.
Yeah, you're controlling it and you're holding it at the top. But if you're bent sideways and your feet are wide, it's like, you're still not really there.
Yeah. But, I mean, keen to see some more videos and keen to see like the heats and stuff in full.
It wouldn't have changed the result.
Nah.
Like, Tom still dropped too many points. Novikov wasn't what he should have been.
There was a reasonable distance at that level. It wasn't like...
It would have closed it to like a point or something.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, there's
it.
enough distance where I didn't think that, like... I think you could confidently say that Mitch was a clear winner.
Yeah. Did you see his celebration after Stones?
No.
That's my favourite part. For someone that it's just a hobby, don't care about it.
His partner jumped on him and stuff like that. Yeah.
It's just a hobby. Like, what does it mean to win? Oh, it doesn't mean much. You know, it's just a platform. Like, I just want to help people. I might not even do it next year. Yeah. And then he's celebrated. I'm like, you fucking care.
Yeah, of course you care
about
you
this.
Don't win
it's
if
a
you
big
don't
deal.
Care. Yeah, 100%.
Just admit
he can
it.
play it off a bit coy, and it's a little bit. I saw some comments talking about how hopefully he works on his win speech and comes off less arrogant than he did at the Arnold.
Yeah.
And like there was a few comments saying he needs to find a better line between being humble and or like being confident and arrogant.
Yeah.
Which I can definitely see. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he plays that card pretty hard, and I think some people really chew it up or love it.
Yeah.
But I think,
I don't mind the arrogance. Like Eddie Hall was arrogant.
Yeah.
But he was like, I'm going to die for this.
Yeah,
because it meant so much.
Yeah.
And he was so confident.
Arrogance in like the terms, like I don't care about it. It's just a platform.
It comes out very smug.
Yeah. Where obviously, if you're doing what it takes to be the best,
putting in the
you're
hours.
away from your family,
Yeah.
you're away from your businesses, you're working your ass off to kind of like be world's strongest man. It fucking matters to you.
I'd hope so. Otherwise, like your wife would be like,
What
where
the fuck?
are
Yeah,
you?
if you don't care, like, where the fuck are you?
Yeah.
Like, and if you don't care about this and you're there,
Yeah.
how much do you care about me?
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry,
this is just
just an observation.
yeah, this is just a hobby, but you're spending 10 hours on this. He had an interview with like Eddie Hall after, and he was like, "Are you going to come back and do more? Because you said you might not."
Yeah.
He's like, "Well, I kind of have to now."
Yeah.
So
Get a taste, bro. You can't let it go.
I don't know if it's just waiting for like the confidence to come of like, well, if I just say it's a hobby and I don't take it serious, if I suck in 2 years, I can just step away and go, I'm going to this.
Yeah.
But then now you win and you're like, oh yeah, I care now.
Maybe. We'll find out.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess the little comp out of the way middleweight series was last weekend.
Yep.
Weekend before. The strongest middleweights in the country. How do you think it all went?
It went good. We had ASM on the podcast, and now we have ASM 105 on the podcast.
Oh, we've had World's Strongest Man. Hold on. World's Strongest Man, Australia's Strongest Man, and now our two guests today are Australia's Strongest Man under 105 and Australia's Strongest Man under 90.
Yeah.
We're doing all right for a little podcast.
Not bad.
we got the names.
Everyone went golfing the other day. I'm like, there's Australia's Strongest Man, the 105, the 90, and last year's Australia's Strongest Man.
Yeah, true.
Whacking balls.
Yeah, true. Yeah, we went and played golf at like driving range the other day, and there's Jordan, 2022's Australia's Strongest Man. There's Josh, 2023's Australia's Strongest Man. Then there's me and Lee there, and we're like, strong crew, strongest driving range in Australia.
Start smacking balls
I can
in the
tell
old
you, it
guys
was
next
not
to
the
us.
strongest driving range in Australia.
I was going to say a very questionable swing on you, Lee. I reckon.
It goes far.
Yeah, he actually did all right.
Jordan's is the same.
Jordan's
Just hacks it, but it goes
Jordan
so
played
far.
baseball. He's just got good hand-eye coordination. He just wouldn't fucking miss one. But like, they're going all over.
It's a baseball swing, just
yeah,
angled down.
yeah. But he could whack him. Like he was getting onto him.
Yeah. We're all knocking it further than everybody else, but it's just going.
Yeah. Things you liked. I mean, I really loved this year that we had 8 events over 2 days.
Yeah,
That was way better. Yeah.
It felt like a full comp.
Felt like a real comp.
And like a comprehensive comp. Like, it tested everything.
Yep.
It wasn't like, oh, these 5 events favored this person or this person.
Yeah.
Like, it had everything.
I feel like having 8 events really gives a good spread. You
Yeah.
know, like a couple overhead events, a grip event, some like a deadlift, like the whole lot, like truck pull, stones. Like it really tested comprehensively everyone as a strong man across really good, basic, but solid events.
Plus, you have to pace yourself if you need to pace yourself.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be smart about it.
Yeah, where you're spending energy.
If you have a great day, it's like you're going to have a great day too.
Yeah.
Like, some people just have a great day and they're on.
Yeah.
So, like, having 2 days really make sure that, like, someone that's consistent wins.
Female winners, crushed.
Mm.
Yep.
Megan and Camilla.
Yep.
Close in the 73s coming into day 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very, very close.
Yeah, quite competitive. How many 73s were there in the end?
5.
5. Yeah.
6. 5.
And then only 3 82s. And like 82s are an interesting one because there's a very good, like there's a reasonable gap in terms of levels there.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? All the girls did great, but you can see that like there's like a level that Megan's on and a level that Nick White's on that she's sort of chasing and trying to push up to that next level. And then you've got Liz who's kind of coming up as well. All competed fantastically.
Yeah.
But there's like, you can see that there needs to be more depth there where there's like competition at each level.
82s, there is 82s in the country. They just need to take a jump.
Well, we were talking
and just
about
have a
it.
crack.
Yeah, we're talking about it like back
And
in Arnold's before COVID.
Yeah.
The 82s and like 73s and stuff, quite fierce.
Yeah,
right?
well, there wasn't 73s.
Yeah, that's right. Of course, there wasn't that middle class, which makes sense.
But I think the problem is when there's not many people doing it and they're the only people doing it, everyone looks at that and goes, well, I can't compete there.
Yeah.
Because of that.
Yes.
Like, everybody looks at someone's best event and goes, oh, I'm shit because I can't do that.
Yeah.
Whereas other people, and like we always used to do it the opposite way. You look at someone's almost like worst event and go, okay, that's where I can at least challenge them
points,
and I can get some points. I can be competitive. Can't chase them on that.
Well, those 73s were quite competitive.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, that was quite good. Obviously, some really good high-level competitors like Em and Camilla are at that level.
Yep.
Quite dominant at that weight class. And then the 90s, still you could see the levels. You know, like you and Cam sort of battling it out a little bit, but then there's like another tier and another tier.
Yeah.
Would love to see more 90s. Like,
yeah, the 90s are lacking.
yeah,
a lot at the moment
compared to what they were. I think that's like the hard thing is like comparatively, and I'm interested to see, I think the new structure should actually fill a lot of those weight classes out a little bit.
Yeah, there's less comps. More people should get competitive. Less tiers, I guess, of comps.
Yeah.
Everything's kind of just like meshed into the same. You've either just got a comp or a qualifier.
Yeah.
That's
So
it.
I think that'll be interesting. I mean, the 105's 12 people, which is great.
105s are fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
105s are sorted. Like,
Yeah. And
they've got depth. It would have been good. The one thing with the comp is like some sort of live score sheet.
yeah.
Not necessarily
people
on-
can follow on. Or
Yeah,
something
not
like
necessarily always.
Yeah.
Not attached to like a live stream, though.
Yeah.
That would be cool if it like popped up on a live
Because
stream.
they had it at ASI for a bit, didn't they? They had the QR code.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a Google sheet.
Yeah.
So it's like if we watch OSG, we
can
can watch
follow on.
watch the live stream and there's 400 people, so you can't follow it, but you can have a Google sheet and go, oh, okay, this is where these people came.
Yeah. And just get a gauge of like where the standard
Yeah.
is and how things are going.
The 105s would have been really interesting event to event because you would
Watching
have
it
watched
change.
people go
Yeah. Would have been really
everywhere.
interesting.
It would have been really interesting to see after 2 events who was top 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And then in the next event, probably top 3 changed.
Yeah.
So it would have flipped and it would have shown how close it was.
Yeah. The 105s was like fun for me to watch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'll
Like-
compete.
I had a ball competing. Yeah, I had a ball competing, but like I felt like relatively. I mean, you gave me shit. You're like, you better win by a fucking margin because you talked a big game.
Put videos out saying you're going to.
He was like, you better fucking do a good job because you put videos out saying you're going to. So it's gonna be embarrassing for you if you don't.
Yeah.
And I felt relatively confident, but like for me, like watching the 105s, because like I'm still a 105 fan.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I love the 105 class, like
Yep.
nationally, internationally. And watching the guys battle it out and see the places turn so much, and like someone drop an event, someone do really well in an event, like coming down to that last event and fighting for podium, and it
Yep.
matters where people go, changes the podium and stuff like that. That was really fun to watch. And to be
Especially on
involved
those
in.
events.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
you've got 5 people that can run a yoke quick.
Yeah.
Truck pulls just like up in the air.
Yeah.
Sandbag throw.
Every-
Like you
yeah.
actually don't know what's really
Yeah,
gonna
there's a
happen.
couple of events where like it's kind of like throw the balls in the air and see where they land with everybody.
Yeah, deadlifts were the same as well. There was 4 or 5 that
Everybody's
could
super
pull
close.
300 to 310 or whatever it was.
Yeah. So 82s talked about the podium. 73s, Camilla M,
Jess.
Jess.
Yep.
All girls doing really well.
Yep.
Camilla M obviously at that like next tier.
Yeah. I think M was leading by 3 points into day,
Day
2.
two.
Yeah.
Yeah, something along those lines. Who won the 90s? Oh,
It's about time.
yeah. I mean, it's not like for me, and like you don't fucking like this, but like I was super proud, but like stoked. Yeah, like shut the fuck up. But I was stoked.
It's just another thing, you know.
Yeah,
like,
I don't care that much. I haven't worked for fucking 10 years to get this. But like, obviously in Arnold's, when I was coaching you back then, I think I was still coaching you.
Yeah, 2018.
Yeah. It was disappointing for us both in terms of the fact that like you technically should have won
Yeah.
on count back. They made a mistake, an error.
Yep.
Sorry if this is news to everybody. In 2018, there was a tie on points, but they fucked the score sheet up and they gave the win to someone else.
Well, initially it was they didn't score one of my squats.
Yeah. So initially, when I say there was a tie,
Yeah.
there was a tie, but initially they gave someone else the win, and then post competition, it was a tie, but Lee would have actually won on the day due to count back, right? So for us, or for me and him, it's like he didn't get the moment in the sun. He didn't get announced. He wasn't recognized. It wasn't like you put the work in. He technically should have won on the day, but there's an error. So it's kind of like bittersweet. It's like you know it, but you didn't get the fucking recognition for the hard work.
The moment, yeah.
Yeah, you didn't get the moment. And like people say like, oh, you know, but you know and stuff. Well, like, what's the fucking point of competing if you're not getting your moment?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'll just train at the gym. Like I won't compete because like we do it for the moment. Like you want the trophy, you want that like moment of glory because like if there's no moment of glory, like what are you doing it for? It's cost you fucking money.
Yeah.
It's expensive. It's your whole fucking life. And it's like there's a snippet of enjoyment because like when you win, there's 2 minutes where you're fucking stoked.
Yeah, it
and
goes
over
away
the moon.
very quickly.
And then you go, when you wake up the next day and it's like, okay, back to work. Or you don't even get to wake up. The baby wakes you up at 3 a.m. and you go, all right, still here.
Back to reality.
Yeah, back to reality really fast.
There's a
man.
day or two where everyone's like, good job. And then after that, it's just
And I don't even like the good job.
back to normal.
Like the good job thing is like, yeah, we're past that now. Like there was 2
Moment's
minutes.
gone.
There was 2 minutes where you can congratulate me, and then it's like,
Yeah.
well, we're back to it, you know.
Yeah.
So it's really, I think it's really hard to miss that. Anyway, back to I'm digressing, but it's really good to see like an outright win, like 5 points or something like that
Yeah.
in the end, and to get that moment. Cam did a great job. Always a good competitor, but definitely pulled away in day 2. Third Ant.
Yep.
Yeah.
Josh.
Oh, Josh. Oh, sorry, Josh.
Yeah,
of
Josh just
course.
squeezed it.
Sorry, how did I miss Josh?
Yep.
Those two guys did really well. I think Josh came in with an injury. It'll be really interesting to see Josh over the next 12 months because he looked like could be very, very good.
Yeah, if he was in
Injury-free and
100%,
in form, yeah, I feel like he will be a very good competitor coming up into these 90s.
I think he wants to cut to 80s.
Why get weaker? You know, the aim of the game is to get stronger.
I think the goal is like 80s and looking at overseas. If
for
80s is
sure.
achievable.
Yeah.
To not shrivel up and
Yeah.
not be able to lift anything.
Yeah.
In saying that, he's taller than me.
I know,
Pretty
he
lean.
can fill out at 90, you know.
Yeah.
He looks pretty good at 90.
Yeah.
And he looked lean at 90. Then 105's myself, Charl and Deck.
Yep.
those two boys super competitive with each other.
Yeah, they go like 1-for-1 at the moment.
Yeah, 100%.
Which I think is really fun and amusing for Charles, and I think really frustrating for Declan.
Yeah, most definitely. I think that's the case.
Yeah.
But then, like, you got James and Kyle and stuff like that just missing out on the podium. Now, James has been around for a long time. He's a great competitor and relatively consistent.
Yep.
Just needs to bring up a few static things.
Yep.
But Kyle, like, static strength's pretty reasonable. Young guy, hasn't been in it for that long. He moves so quick.
Yeah.
He's a great mover.
That's the thing where, like...
Not fast enough, but...
I think he kind of matched your training yoke.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. Because that's like, when I went into the comp, everyone's like, oh, yeah, like, you'll smash it. It's going to be easy. And I'm like, if you go in thinking that, and, like, your yoke is an example, if you go in thinking... no one's going to be as quick as me on yoke.
Yeah.
I've got it easy. I'll just pace myself and do a good run. Say you did it in 20 seconds and went, cool, that's a good training time.
Yeah.
That'll be enough. Someone might send it like Kyle
Yeah.
and squeeze ahead
100%.
because you were just a little bit complacent. So, like, even if it's...
You never
an
want to
easy
pace
win-
yourself on yoke anyway. I
Yeah.
feel like it's one of those things where if you try to pull back on yoke or pace it,
It's heavy.
it's heavy.
Yeah.
Like I got the whatever pace I got is the pace I got on the day. You know,
Yeah.
like I'm throwing everything behind a yoke because, like, I mean, the quicker it finishes, the quicker it's over.
Yeah, you don't want it on your back for too long.
Nah, fuck no.
Yeah. But, yeah, if you go in, like, somewhat complacent, like, I've got this easy,
Yeah,
it's very easy for someone that's really hungry
yeah,
that'll risk it, and it might pay off.
yeah. Totally agree. I think that, like, especially when it's like first event.
Yeah. Me watching Kyle on the way back is just like, don't drop it, don't drop it,
Yeah.
don't drop it, don't drop it. And then he didn't drop it, and I'm like, okay, that was actually quick.
Good job. Yeah, it was really quick.
What's the time?
Yeah. The big thing that I see with yoke all the time as well is just, like, especially like people who are a bit more green in competition, is just like there's a thing of pushing your pace but knowing your boundaries.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, people hear the siren or the whistle go and they just try to fucking leg it,
There's a
and
certain
everything goes out the window.
there's a certain point in the run where you can lean forward and, like,
Control
get
chaos.
a bit out of control.
Yeah.
And it's not in the first, like, 3 meters.
Nah, yeah. You got to build momentum. You got to go through the gears. Is what
Yeah.
is kind of the cue we use. You know.
Yeah.
You can't just go to fucking and go straight to, like, gear 3, gear 4, and fucking send it. Like, you got to work through the first couple of gears to find your spot.
Especially with that drop in the middle too. Like, you get under it quick, you pick it up, and you're like, that's not in the right spot.
Like I did.
But, yeah, but I've got to go anyway.
Yeah, but I'm going. Yeah.
Yeah.
The comp ran really well too. I
Yeah.
think that was, like, a big thing. Like, it was very well executed. Organisers were great. Equipment was fantastic. The day moved quite smoothly. Day 1 was long.
Yeah.
That's just event selection
It's
and stuff.
good that we cut the sandbags shorter.
Yeah, 'cause
at
otherwise
least.
it would have been ages.
Yeah. But I think their intention was, like, the women would get to 15,
Yeah.
not 17.
Yeah, everyone just surpassed
Yeah.
expectations on the
And
sandbag.
the guys would all tap out at 27,
Yeah.
not 40.
40's big throw.
Yeah. And we started at 20.
Yeah, it's a lot of throws too.
Yep.
Yeah. So day 1 was quite long, but day 2, the events are short, sharp. We had breaks
No
in
setup.
between, no setup, like, not a heap of warming up. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
farmers go, which was super handy. That made things move really quick on that second day.
Yeah. It's the higher the comps go up, the easier it is for warm-ups too, because everyone kind of knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
Everyone can warm up within 10 minutes and go done.
Experience.
So, like,
Yeah.
and notice that warming up. Like, we were warming up in the 90s, and once they said, like, our deadlifts were going to be separate to yours,
Yeah.
I was like, cool, I don't have to warm up with
Yeah.
all you fucks. It's like 12
It's
of them.
fair.
and I'm
There's
just
12 of us.
I'm like, I love you all.
Yeah.
I'll hang out with mostly 105s there.
Yeah.
But I'm like, go away.
Yeah, I'd love to see, like, something I really want to see, and this is, like, our job, it's the promoter's job, it's the strongman community's job, is, like, to see 12 people in every class.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, mate, like a competition, because it's not, even if you've got 2 or 3 standout people that are going to win, even if that's the case in most classes, those people, like you saw in our competition and in the 105s, you've got 12 people, but someone who's coming 12th on most things is coming second or third in something obscure, or
Yep.
they've got a lift where that they steal some points.
Yep.
They move up and they get between 2 people and knock someone out a little bit, and then it makes things a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, suddenly if you have a bad event, you don't come 5th. You come 10th.
or 10th, you know. And then I think that like watching the other weight classes, when you've got either a big difference between 3 people or even 6 people and there's 2 people, you really are fighting neck and neck, and the pressure's on, which is cool too, I guess.
Yeah.
But the pressure's on to really win events, because if you drop an event, it's kind of day done unless someone else can sneak in there a little bit. But there's a tighter point difference, you know.
Yeah, if I could pluck a few 90s that I know and chuck them in that comp from present and even a few from the past and just go, oh, these person in 2019. If I threw that in, then I probably wouldn't have come 4th on Farmers. I probably would have come lower down.
Yes.
I probably would have come 8th or 9th if there was 12 of us.
Yes. Yeah.
But then Cam probably still would have come 12th on a truck pull.
Yeah.
The deadlift would have been different. The Viking press would have been super different.
Yeah, very different.
Like, all of a sudden, it would have been like the 105s where you would have seen all these flips until it sort of falls at the end.
Keeps it a lot more interesting. I mean, if you win an event, there's still 12 points versus 6 points. It kind of scales up a little bit, but there's just more opportunity for more points to be and more people to get in between.
Yeah, it's why ASM and ASW was so good.
Yeah, because more competitors.
Yeah.
Because more like interesting competitions. And this is like a call out to everyone who's coming up or like at the intermediate level or advanced level. Like, throw your hat in the ring. And if you qualify, show up. Like, even if you don't think that you're going to win or you don't think you're at the standard, train, have a dip, because you'll find that you will actually do reasonably well in most events. There might be a couple where you 0 or aren't doing great, but you'll probably have an event or 2 events where you crush it and you make things interesting. But like 12 people in a comp still makes things more interesting than
it's a much more fun comp.
Yeah, makes it a competition.
And less pressure.
Yeah.
You're not focused on one person.
Yeah.
Going, oh, I've got to
100%.
beat them because there's 12 people.
Yeah.
Like the very first Arnold's, the 2016 one, where they actually had weight classes.
Most Arnold's.
I
tried to tell people.
I don't think I'd ever run that yoke in training.
Yeah, the heavy yoke.
Pretty sure it was like 310.
Yeah, 320, I think.
320 maybe?
Yeah, 320.
I don't think I'd ever touched it. I touched like 280, 290, and it just buckled me.
Yeah.
I finished it in probably 59.9 seconds, but I'd never moved it before. Yeah. The deadlift for reps was like a 250.
Yeah.
And it was currently my 1 rep max.
Yeah.
And Dave Parmiter and Jake went on to battle it out doing 10 and 11 reps, and I did 2.
Yeah.
And a very hard 2. Like, could have easily just looked at the weights and gone, no.
Yeah.
That's out of my depth. I'll wait till next year.
But it was the Arnold's, and everyone just wanted to show up. Everyone just wanted that ticket. Do you know what I mean?
Everyone wanted that T-shirt.
Everyone wanted that T-shirt. Everyone wanted that little medal, and everyone wanted to go compete in front of a grandstand.
Yeah.
And at a fitness expo. I think the fitness expo thing was a big draw card. But I try to tell people, and like, it's hard because we just don't have fitness expos now. It's just not a thing. But there weren't 12 people in all the classes, or there weren't 3 people in any classes.
No, the bigger ones were like
there was
20.
There was like 14. I mean, they started.
I think the
they
least
started
was like
capping it, but there was like 14 to 20 people in every class.
Yeah, 14 was bottom end.
And when you go overseas, and like let's use like when I did Ultimate Strongman, OSG, even SCL, there's 20 to 30 guys at Worlds Comps.
Yeah, well, Chaos in July.
Yeah, 30 guys.
If everyone turns up, there's 30.
Yep. And my OSG year, there was 33.
Yep.
Ultimate Strongman, there was something like 28 or 30. Ultimate Strongman.
Well, even Finland, we had
maybe less.
mid-20s.
Yeah, SCL, it was like 24, 25.
They cut it.
Yeah.
They cut it to top 12. They cut the comp to top 12.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a lot of people dropped out.
Yeah, 100%. So, I mean, when you go overseas, or if you're competing in like back in the Arnold's and stuff like that, which is over the next few years, we might see something like that return. That's fun.
Yeah.
Like, because there's good guys at good events, and that makes such a world of difference.
It's just a big amount of people that you're competing with and chatting to.
Yeah,
and like it makes for
fun.
a good vibe.
Yeah, 100%. It's a good vibe. So, but I mean, it was still a great competition. How did you feel like you went performance-wise?
Pretty good, like 95, 99%. There's always something.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, could have done better.
Yep.
Day 1, I think, was as perfect as it could be.
Yep.
Yoke was way faster than training.
Yep.
So didn't make a difference time-wise.
Yeah.
Because the times were all
But still
separated.
performance-wise.
Yeah, probably as good as it ever could have been. Viking was straightforward.
Yeah.
Which was fine. What was the third event? Truck ball.
Yep.
That went well. Won that event. That was an event where the ground was slippery. You had rock climbing shoes. They still didn't do anything.
Yeah.
But it's like you have to learn on the fly.
Yeah.
And I think it favoured people that got rid of their strategy or their technique or the way that they pulled it
Yeah.
and tried to do something different.
Yeah.
So anybody that could just like learn as they went along did really well.
Yeah.
Like Josh changed everything that he did, Josh Vassy, and got a really quick time.
Yeah. You did really well.
I watched the live back and Cam's like low to the ground, short, quick steps, pumping his feet.
Yeah.
And for a good like 30 seconds, he's just going.
Not really moving fast. There's a few guys who took really short steps or like really
it did
small
nothing.
steps and it just wasn't moving.
And it was like big, slow
Yeah,
arm
needed to be-
pulls.
Need to be like big, quick arms, lots of
Yep.
pull, and just like let the legs follow kind of thing.
Yeah, and that's all I did.
Yeah.
Like everyone came back and went, there's no legs in this. So I'm
Mine
like,
was trash, but it was still
I
fast
saw
enough.
yours.
It was so fucking
yours was
bad.
chaos.
Oh, I just
like
I changed my strategy there as well, and I tried to be more
every arm pull
Yeah,
change strategy.
I just tried. No, I tried to be more upright and like have more contact, but I was just slipping so much. I should have still been on my toes a bit. I just didn't nail it, and that's okay.
See videos where people are on like ice skating rinks and they're doing this, but they
I'm
don't.
everywhere,
They don't
bro.
fall. They're just kind of like
Yeah.
about to fall, but they never fall.
Yeah, that was me. I was so close to falling like 50 times. It was just pure aggression.
Your legs were just going too quick to fall. Like
Yeah.
you would slip to fall.
Yeah, but
And then you somehow catch it.
It wasn't pretty. Admittedly, it
So
wasn't
out of
real
control.
pretty. Yeah, and like my truck pulls were so pretty and training on asphalt with a heavy truck.
Yeah.
You know, like I was so dialed in, and then I got there and I was like, fucking ice skating ring in here. Like let's just send it, see how it goes.
Yeah. I just went into it just thinking like, get it started the normal way.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if I can't use legs, I'm just not even going to think about what they're doing.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to use my arms.
That's pretty much what I did. It didn't look like yours.
I leant forward a little bit and then I felt my foot slip and I'm like, no,
That's
don't
what
do
I
that.
thought. If I lean forward too much, I'm going to face plant.
I stayed forward, but my feet were just light.
Yeah.
I went in, everyone's just gone, it's all arms. And I'm like, surely I've got the strongest
You're like,
arms
I
in the
got arms.
group.
Look at these guys.
Like, surely I've got the strongest biceps in the group. I'll just curl it. And it worked.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't do anything for like half an hour.
Just pump.
My whole arm.
Yeah.
Forearm, bicep. Like I was sitting there like with them hanging and I'm like,
Yeah.
if we do sandbags too soon, I can't hold a sandbag.
Yeah.
Like I'm actually in trouble.
Yeah.
And then it came good.
Yeah.
Sandbag was probably my most... Sandbag and dumbbell are probably the two stressful ones.
Yeah.
For me. Farmers, I anticipated points and like,
But
that's
those two could have
fine.
gone either way.
Yeah. Sandbag, I'm like a foot shorter than basically everybody else in the 90s. And I'm like, that's not helpful to throw something high.
Yeah.
I also don't know what anyone can do. And we also get 2 throws.
Yeah.
So it might not
In
even
30
be
seconds.
it might not even be a lack of I'm not good at enough,
Yeah.
but I just screwed it up twice.
Yeah.
That's why it was funny watching yours. The 22 kilo one.
Oh, yeah. I missed a 22 kilo bag, went straight up in the air and came back down. This is like second throw.
No.
And everyone was like,
all the other 105s are still in.
Yeah.
So if you'd missed the second one, it would have been last.
Yeah, like day over.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
That's fine. I could have copped the last.
You had a buffer.
I had a buffer.
Yeah, so that was probably the stressful one for me because especially in the gym, like little
Small
things.
fuck up. Yeah, I know.
You stand under the bar and you step forward.
Yeah.
And we throw it, whereas this you couldn't do that. So
Yes.
I stepped forward and like look back and I'm like, I don't know where it is.
In my deload, I did some bag throws, and 1 out of 3 went over the bar. The rest just came up and came back down on my head. Like I was like water loading. I was a little bit dizzy. I was like my forearms were cramping up a little bit. It was just so bad. I was like, you know what? I'm not touching this.
It's all right. Josh missed his first throw of his first 4 or 5.
I know, double took
And then
everything.
got his second
Yeah.
every single time. But yeah, once I got the sandbag, I was
Yeah.
like, or once everybody dropped off and I knew I'd gotten second,
Yeah.
like at worst, I'd gotten second. I'm like, okay, that's not stressful anymore.
Yeah.
I'd throw the bag and walk back, and Nathaniel's like, you could at least smile. And I'm like, I smile when I win.
Yeah.
And just didn't smile,
Not
just
over
walked
yet.
off. I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's not over yet.
I'm stressed about this.
Yeah. But day 2 was very good. It was consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deadlift what I needed,
Yeah.
which was the goal. Open
Dumbbell
heavier.
what you needed. Stone what you needed.
Dumbbell could have been better, but
Yeah.
that dumbbell's hit and miss. Like once my arm's cooked, it's cooked.
Yeah.
I think I pushed it quicker
Yeah.
than what I should have, and I should have rested like a little bit longer, and maybe I'd get 1 extra rep.
Yeah.
But that's probably about it.
Yeah, I think like dumbbell for me, I knew how many reps I got. That was my big thing with the performance. Was like I was stoked with both days. Truck pull was the only thing that I felt like I could have done a lot better on. Just changing strategy. Yoke, couldn't really go quicker than that. Viking press, probably hit what I did in training. My feet were a little bit too far back because we don't have the transformer bar as like a reference. Like I like watching back, and that's why I reckon I softened up through the knees. Sandbag throw, 37.5. I didn't think I'd get that high.
Yep.
Day 2, farmers blitzed, deadlift, obviously comfortable win, which is always going to be the case. Dumbbell,
Pull a 360 just for funsies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought I might go for 100. There was a crowd. I was like, my original plan on the deadlift was to pull like 330 and then just like call it. And I was like, there's a crowd. I can't just go pull one easy deadlift.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll pull 360. I'll see how it feels. I might try for 400. I pull 360 and I was like, nah.
I was standing way back with like a couple of us watching it.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, he's going up for 360. And I'm like, that wasn't the plan.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, maybe you'll have a crack at 400. And then you pull 360 and everyone's like, oh yeah, just a casual 360. And I'm like, well, it's not that quick.
Yeah.
Everyone's like,
It was
what?
fast. It was fast, but it wasn't 400 fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, that's probably it.
Yeah, that's enough.
Yeah.
Like 380, 390 maybe again, but like
Not
what's the
worth
point?
it, yeah.
Nah. The dumbbell and the stones I slowed down. I reckon if I had competition and stuff, I could have squeezed out 1 more rep on each.
Yep.
But like dumbbell, I just wanted to make sure of it. Stones, I just wanted to make sure of it. Those last couple, I just sort of like slowed down and made sure I was getting over the bar well. You can watch the first 5 reps and watch the first 3 reps, and I just pull back to make sure of it. But like, I think, yeah, execution wise, pretty much perfect, which is cool.
It's good to see you have to work for those extra reps.
Pardon?
It's good to see you have to work for those extra reps.
On the 8?
On like dumbbell, stones,
Yeah.
even the Viking.
Yeah, yeah. It was fun to have to work on the Viking.
Like it's all close enough to where you just squeeze it out and everybody
Yeah.
else just makes
Yeah.
a mistake or doesn't quite get
Yeah.
there. But
Yeah,
still close.
I think dumbbell, like I had to get 7. I think I could have got 8 in that time. I was
Yep.
kind of cruising through, like not cruising through, but like just pacing that a little bit more than what I did in training. And the stones, I reckon I definitely could have got 9.
Yep.
They felt fucking good, but I just wanted to make sure of it. I didn't want
Yeah.
to like fuck one up. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So great weekend.
Yeah.
Cool to watch everybody.
The stones, everybody made the stones hard at the end. As in like Josh only messed up the first rep, so he only got 5.
Yeah.
But every other 90s did 6.
Yeah.
And Cam did 7.
Yeah.
Once all those guys did 6 and Josh did 5, I'm like, oh,
Yeah. I have to work.
I have to do reps.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Because I was
thought
going into it like I've got a really good buffer.
I knew that I'd have to get 7 or 8.
No, I thought you got a lot more competitors too. I
Yeah.
was like, if a couple of these guys just get like 2 or 3,
Yeah.
and I'm like, even if I got 4 and fell over, I'm like, it still would have had a points buffer to cruise through.
Yeah.
But then when everyone got 6, I'm like, okay, I have to at least do 6.
Yeah. If you're going to look at the weekend on a whole and the competitors in the middleweights, and like we can talk about like now that ASM and middleweights has been, is there one thing in general that you see that like would help athletes across the board? Like, was there a theme in terms of like anyone who wasn't executing, or the top guys to like the middle line guys? Do you think there's something there that you can identify that's like, okay, cool, here's one of the big differences between the guys that are winning at the top and the guys that are coming like mid-pack or sort of like down below?
A lot of it's confidence. Like, people carry themselves very differently.
Yeah.
They don't waste energy between things.
Yeah.
Which makes it different. Like,
The warm-up room is a
so,
big difference.
like
yeah.
saying when I was warming up for deadlifts, and then we knew that like 105s are after, therefore there's no point you touching a bar until we've basically
jumping
gone
the
out
gun.
there,
Yeah.
or at least close to going out there. And then there was like 4 of the 105 guys, and they'll probably hate me for pointing them out. I can't even remember who it was. But there was 4 people that came up and were going to jump in, and I was like, you guys aren't on until later.
Yeah, you got ages.
Like, it's at 70 kilos.
Yeah.
Like, go rest.
Guys jumping on the dumbbell really
But it was
early,
guys
trying the
that
dumbbell.
it was guys that were new.
Yeah.
All the guys that have been doing a lot of comps weren't even close. Like, they were eating.
Yeah.
and talking outside or just doing something else.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, jump in and warm up way too much, way too early.
Yeah. Yeah, I think with the warm-up thing, the big strategy or the best strategy, and this is the way that I look at it, post-event, and like and in fairness, like I got clients and stuff doing comps, and you do as well, but we're competing, and that's a hard line to follow. But realistically, like there's a 5-10 minute window where I might have a chat after the event. I'm trying to eat food. I'm trying to like calm down a little bit. I'm trying to bring that arousal down a little bit. And then I'll wait, and then it's like almost time to warm up. I'm just kind of like doing my thing, just trying to relax a bit. And then cool, headphones back in, prep work. Not touching implements and stuff, but just like, let's loosen up a little bit. Let's do whatever mobility stuff I need to do for the next event. Let's just like look after my knees or something like that. And then start warming up, but like not too soon, right? I think that's managing your downtimes effectively is definitely probably one of those things that, especially on a 2-day comp or like when there's a long comp with other weight classes, is something that can be managed effectively to make sure the outcome is positive at the event time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess it all depends how you train, how you operate too. So like last year, the max log, they brought out seats and they're like, everybody sit down, then we'll go up and do our lifts.
Yeah.
Probably the worst thing I could have done.
Yeah, it's actually sit down.
Actually sitting down, waiting to go up and do a lift and like letting my back fold this way while wearing a belt and all my shit.
Yeah.
And then I walked up to do log and I'm like, my back does not feel good. I'm not going to be able to extend. Yeah. So this weekend, I didn't sit at all. I stood behind the seats. Yeah. And Alex and everyone's like, you can have a seat. And I'm like, I'm just going to stand. Yeah. If I sit down, I will feel like trash, especially between deadlifts. And that's just me. I don't sit between warming up and doing deadlifts.
No.
We deadlift. We put plates on the bar. We deadlift.
Yeah, it moves pretty quick.
Until it's done.
Yeah.
Even log's the same.
Yeah.
I'd sit for 2 seconds, if that.
Yeah, if at all.
Because it doesn't feel comfortable.
And then also like warming up. Like I think it's important for strongmen to take warm-ups when you need to, like in terms of like do your mobility stuff. And that's very easy and accessible to do in competition between events if you've got long times. Yep. But we've talked about this before, being able to forego a lot of warm-ups and warm up with bigger jumps or be able to jump in with the group versus like being really specific with your warm-ups and like have to do this. I have to take smaller jumps, kind of over warming up for events as well. Yeah. You see people get thrown a little bit when the pace is a little bit quicker than what they're used to in the warm-up room. Like one class goes, your time to warm up. You better be able to have 2 or 3 touches with the farmers and go. You better be able to take bigger jumps in your deadlifts and be able to go out there. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
It comes with experience as well, but having, like, there's a lot of big personalities. Yeah. And when people are switched on and they want to warm up, they'll take control and they'll want to do it their way.
You've got to be assertive in the
and you've got to realize that, like, no one's going to actually physically fight you or tell you no if you go, I'm going to pull some plates off and do my set and then put them back on. Yeah. And I used to see that at Arnold's all the time. Like when I started comps, I was the quiet person that was like, oh, the yoke went from 130 and I went to the toilet and now it's 350. Yeah. I guess I'll just do that. And then would go out and like shit the bed.
You have to be assertive with like to warm up room.
Yeah, and then as the years went on, there was 3 of us that were like, all right, no one's really making a call.
Yeah, I'll just start making calls.
I'll just start making calls, but you make calls based on your strength.
Yeah, 100%.
And then the quiet people just go,
okay, I'm following.
I'm screwed.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm trying not to be rude. I'm just making calls based on what I would do.
It's a competition and like everyone's kind of out there to do their thing and like you're making calls because no one else is, but like you're making calls because someone has to start making calls.
That's what I'm saying.
Someone's got to start putting weight on there.
Anyone that's like either weaker or wants smaller jumps should just speak up.
Yeah.
And I know it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
Because other people are intimidating.
Yeah.
But it happened with the women at one point.
Yeah.
The women were warming up on deadlift. And then someone was like, yeah, they said we're going up in this weight and the weight's not going back down. These are our weight jumps and we're going up and not going back down. So I walked over there thinking like, if it doesn't go back down, I'm going to empty the fucking bar.
Yeah.
I was so dirty at it. I was like, no.
Yeah, 100%.
You can do your jumps, but other people can do theirs.
Their jumps.
You can't say, no.
No.
It's not.
That's not how it works.
So I was like,
if
it needs to go back down, pull the plates off.
Yeah, 100%. And
if they stop you,
2 seconds.
If they stop you, hit them in the face with the plate. One thing I can't stand is like the arrogance to go, this is going my way and that's it.
Yeah,
it's not your comp.
It's not your comp. It's everybody's comp. Everyone's here to do their thing. You work in with people, just like you do in the gym. Do you know
Someone
what I
was
mean?
in doing log the other day, and they'd been waiting for it from somebody else, and I pulled out a log, and they're like, "Do you want the log pads?" I'm like, "No, you got them."
Yeah.
They're like, "We can share," and I'm like, "There's a tire here. I can pick it up off
That'll
that."
work. Yeah.
And everybody else would be like,
Harmonious warm-up area.
"Well, it's also strongman, where like if it was powerlifting, you can get OCD about particular things, but it's like if we go to the States to compete, we might have a
In the
log.
warm-up
We
room,
might
you
have
might
a,
not have drop
but we
pads,
might have a
yeah.
log on bumpers
Yeah.
off
Yeah,
the floor.
floor.
Super common. So it's
Yeah.
like I can't be shitty about doing log from a deeper pickup here.
Yeah.
It's going to better me as an athlete to
Of
not
course.
be OCD
Yeah,
about my
definitely.
stuff.
Things change.
But also, I don't have priority over someone else,
No, I say as a gym
regardless
owner,
of what I can lift versus them.
generally as a gym owner, I say that I have the least priority.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like unless I'm competing for like worlds or something like that, and it's like a peak day or something like that, like most of the time I'm like, if someone's got the Texas bar, like I've got the fucking Rogue bar, that's fine. I don't care that much. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought that one other thing that I noticed between the two competitions, and this comes back to like the yoke and a few other events, composure.
Yeah.
When the events go, do you know what I mean? Sort of like knowing, or like an expectation management. Do you know what I mean? Like just because, like if you train and hit 4 reps, I mean busting your balls and hit 4 reps on something, you don't really have a right to think you got 6 on comp day and then not be happy when you get 4.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So like I sort of hearing guys talk about what their expectations are, what they're hoping to hit in competition, and then what they're actually achieving. That's like
Famous last words of it'll be their comp.
it'll be their comp day, right? Like realistically, like your results or your outcomes will be kind of based around what the training is. And if you're a little bit faster, then fantastic.
Yeah.
If you're a little bit worse, okay, it's 8 events. It's a big day. You make small mistakes, but composure, understanding the plan and what you're capable of, pacing things a little bit based on where you think the range is that you can hit, and being composed and knowing takeoff speeds, footwork, adjusting. Like if something doesn't go right, being able to be composed and not freak out or change something, or if you drop the yoke, being composed on the repicks. I think composure comes with experience, and I think that's one of the other things. I think the warm-up room, really evident, like how you manage your downtime, your warm-ups, being able to warm up effectively, not too soon, and then composure out there.
If you mess up an event and there's 8 events and you can't let that go, that's a long day and a half of 6 events that you're just really dirty at yourself and you can't shake it.
And not even that. And like I get that as well. If it's a good event for me and I fuck it up, like I'm dirty. And it's hard to see that there's 7 other events. But even if you mess up day 1, there's a whole nother day.
Yeah.
And someone else might mess up day 2. Like there's a whole competition again the next day.
Well, that year that I won, but didn't win, but
Yeah.
won. I think I was 5th going into Stones.
Yeah.
Like I was sitting 5th, and by that time in the day, everybody's usually just kind of like, day's done.
Yeah.
Like I can't catch those points. Whereas, I don't know, I've always just had this thing of like, it's not done until it's done.
Until it's done.
Or
you
I'm
never
like,
know.
Or I'm like, all right, I'm coming 5th. I send this event and win it, and I've done whatever I can do.
Yeah.
And then at least I know I've had the best crack at it.
But you might come 2nd, you might come 3rd, or you never know how the other 5 people are going to go on Stones. You may win, right?
A lot of the comps that I've come 2nd, 3rd, or 1st has come back from lower.
Yeah.
Because typically moving events start first,
Which is way more fun.
which are not my greatest events.
Yes.
They're a lot better now, but they were very shit to start off with. Then there'd be some pressing in the middle. I'm like, cool, made up some good points.
Yes.
Then there was a deadlift. Also wasn't a great event for me.
Yeah.
And then finished with Stones, which was kind of like a banker of like,
Yeah. I got this.
the only reason I did the first 4 events was to get here.
So I could take my shirt off and rip into some Stones.
Yeah. Everyone's like, I just want to go home. And I'm like, the day just started.
Yeah. Let's go.
I put up with yoke and farmers. I'm here for this.
Yeah.
So I'm so used to coming back from behind that it doesn't, if I have a bad event, it's kind of just like normal.
It's fun.
Yeah, whereas a lot of people that are good at moving events or good at the events that are typically first struggle because they're out in the lead and then they just watch their lead
Dwindle away.
and it's very hard to keep
Demotivating at
composed.
the back end of the competition.
You're like, I have I have to nail this 140 log or I'm screwed. And it's like, you've only done 120.
Yeah. Like, where do you think that's going to come from? Like, to be there on the day.
No, I just got to make it happen. So
I just had a story in my head. I'm not going to say it.
yeah, it's good to overreach, but like within a realistic parameter.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I tend to go through best case, worst case scenarios of a comp.
Yeah, 100%.
The whole thing.
And
like,
I mean, we did that on the couch after day one.
Yeah.
Lee and I sat there and we were pretty bang on, to be honest. We sat there and played out the 90s day 2. And we said worst case scenario and best case scenario for Cam. And we're like, should still win.
yeah.
We nutted out all the points for everybody. We're like, this is how we think things are going to go.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much how things went.
Went pretty well, like
They
best
actually
case.
did better. Yeah, actually, we nutted out worst case. And I'm like, this is the worst case, how this day goes. How's it play
Worst
out?
case, it would have been like a couple of points difference.
Yeah.
It might have come down to stones and winning stones.
Yeah.
Something like that.
How long do you guys talk about like the day, like coming together after the event, like that evening? How long are you guys like discussing like all the scenarios and stuff?
It's pretty quick.
Yeah.
Like it was pretty quick. It was just because it's only 4 events, so
Yeah,
it
it's
was
just
like
notes.
this is best case of where it should come, and this is probably where the other people are going to go. So you can kind of work out the points off that, and then it was like, all right, if I really shit the bed, there's a few events that should still be fine.
Yeah.
But if I don't do well at some particular ones,
And the guys that like are like right up there with you, how do you know like their lifts and stuff or like what they're capable of? Is it stuff from previous comps or is it just like general knowledge that
A little
you've
bit
seen of
general
them?
knowledge,
Bit
a
of
little bit of
both.
Instagram, and I think just more backing, knowing what you can do.
Yeah.
yeah, and then someone can come out and hit something that you just don't expect, and you're like, well, that came out of nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah, like, I mean, you're just guessing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you're just trying to predict or get an idea of, like, where things are and how things might play out.
That's why a lot of people, and it's a lot of effort, but go full MIA for 6 to 8 weeks coming
don't
into a
post
comp.
anything, yeah.
Last post, I'm going dark.
Yeah.
No one's seeing my stuff. I'm going to come in and shock the world. And it's like,
I get it, but, like,
You
you're
gotta-
just going to do what you're going to do.
you got 8 weeks to get a little
Yeah.
bit stronger. You can only get so much stronger
Yeah.
in 8 weeks.
I think...
I've done that on certain events because I know that they were, like last year I wanted to do that with the axle overhead event.
Yeah.
Those 5 axles. Because I know that, I could just race through them.
Yeah.
And in training, I was racing through them. And I'm like, I don't want anyone to see that I can do it in 30 seconds.
Yeah, because I don't want to give a target.
Yeah, it won't change how strong he is.
Yeah.
But it'll completely change the way he attacks it.
Yeah.
And
I didn't post my monster dumbbell reps or my stone reps for the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, because if someone's getting 7,
They know that they need to get 8.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, no one can get stronger. Like, if you
Yeah.
go and pull 390, no
Yeah.
one's going to go, well, 395 next week.
But you can really, like, with the rep stuff, if you're close to it, you can know that you're going to push on the day. You're going to have to push an extra one.
Yep.
Which just means I would have had to push an extra one.
Yeah. So there's some things that, like, people do hide, obviously,
Yeah.
for that reason. But it's not that far out.
But you have a pretty good understanding.
Yeah,
You know what I
okay.
mean? Like, you have a pretty good knowledge and you know what you can do pretty well. So pretty close to. But, like, when we talk about it, we might talk a little bit about the day on the way home in the car. And then, like, because it was tight and, like, I was interested, like, we were sitting down on the couch and we spent, like, 5-10 minutes going through scenarios and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity.
Yeah. It depends how you handle it, too. Like, I had a few athletes competing. And I think if I did all of that with some of them, it would be overwhelming.
Yes.
It would either, the worst case scenario would be like a play in the back of the head thing, or the
Yeah.
best case scenario would put a lot of pressure on.
Yeah, okay.
So it's kind of like we got to go out and just do what we did in training. Like
Probably-
I've done it for long enough now, and I don't generally stress about the points. Like I kind of know it just is where it is.
Yeah. For
So-
most people, it's going to be...
For some people, it's just like a mind fuck.
Yeah.
It's too many numbers, too many variables, and then they won't sleep.
Yeah. Keep it simple, stupid. Just go out there and do what you can. Do your best in every event and play it where it lies. That's how it's going to go for most people. Do you know what I mean?
And did you boys have a mean feed between the days? Like,
Oh,
What do we have?
I had, between the days, I had 2 Guzman enchiladas on Saturday night.
Yeah, I think I lived on Guzman.
Oh yeah,
for 2
Guzman.
days
We had
pretty much.
Guzman because you're not really eating during the day.
Yeah.
I ate 1,100 grams of carbs after my weigh-in that day.
Oh my god.
Didn't even really cut weight either.
Yeah, 1,100 carbs and 7,000 something calories on that after post weigh-in.
I don't think I had that much, to be honest.
We
We wasted so many like crumpets and
Oh,
plaklets
we bought so much food.
and cereal.
We left it in.
We didn't coordinate cereal, so we both
Yeah.
like got to check out, unpacked everything at home, and it's like, oh, Cocoa Pops. We probably only needed 1 box of those.
So much.
Did you buy that during the cut?
Yeah, we went shopping when we were
so the
hungry.
night before.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Like, it's not that much food. I'll fit it in.
Oh, bro, I bought so much.
I actually ate on comp day, which
Yeah,
is
I ate heaps on comp day.
I never do.
Yeah, me too.
I think it actually helped.
Definitely. I just had like jam sandwiches.
I tell
and,
everybody to do
LCMs
it, but
and
I
stuff
just
like that.
don't
I
do
know,
it.
yeah. It depends on the comp. Sometimes I move so fast, you're not really going. It's like 2 or 3 hours. You're not going to eat heaps. But on a day like those, I was eating pretty much between each event.
There was better events to do it on too.
Yeah.
Like obviously before deadlifts,
Yeah,
probably
100%.
not. Before farmers doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Viking press, I could have gone out super full.
I
Made
like
a difference.
deadlifting on a bit of a full belly, like just like a bit of in my belly, just like a push in the belt. I know you hate it, yeah. And Luke Davies eats an empty stomach, doesn't eat for like 3 hours, but like
Yeah. I used to always eat heaps and then go deadlift, and it was never an issue.
yeah, not heaps, just like a little bit. I don't want to be hungry with deadlifting. I want to have some food.
No, it's actually become not an issue, but it's so much better when I don't.
Yeah,
Like if it got close to lunch now, I'd
Reflux
be
or
like,
something like that.
I'll
I'm
I'll
stuck
just
in
go
it.
deadlift,
yeah,
and I just don't brace well. I notice I just don't brace well. I fold in half
yeah,
when I'm more bloated,
yeah.
which is really strange.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah, but every other lift's fine. It's
Yeah.
just bracing on deadlifts.
Then
Like
you
I could
know.
still squat.
Yeah. But yeah, your answer to your question is we had plenty of food. You're not really eating real food throughout the whole day. You know, like we had a couple breakfasts in the morning. Like we woke up and we had like maybe some Cocoa Pops and stuff like that.
Some like eggs on toast.
And then like a couple hours later, because we're competing in the afternoon, a couple hours later, I'd have like eggs on toast and bagel and stuff like that, like cream cheese bagel. And then like, then we would sort of go and compete and stuff like that. And I might have, then it was like jam sandwich, banana, LCMs, that kind of deal.
Simple carbs.
But yeah, so simple carbs, but you're not really eating real food like between that morning meal and then like by the time you get to dinner. So like, I think like dinner was like Guzman both days, just like, cause it's rice, it's meat. Like I was getting chicken, rice, fucking good solid portion of it.
Yeah.
I had a bit of the meat stock meat, but like
I
it's
didn't have any.
just not
It's too heavy.
good for comp day.
Yeah, it's not ideal.
I ate so much of it when I went to ASM because I was competing.
Yeah, so different.
But just like heavy, like fried chips and like brisket and heavy
Chips,
meat.
brisket,
Like
you're not digesting it well. It's
Yeah.
heavy. It's not like conducive to performance.
roast chicken rolls were good.
Oh, we had roast chicken rolls
On the second day.
Yeah, that was really
That
good.
was a smart.
Yeah, that
Smart
was
decision.
delish. Yeah. Yeah, but that's pretty much like food wise.
Yeah, my stomach felt shit when I got back. After
Yeah.
like sort of 3 days of just that and just eating whatever.
Yeah, it wasn't great, but
But then I also didn't really eat the week leading in March.
of course, there's a big
Basically-
change in the system.
Yeah, before weighing in, it was basically a little bit of water, but no food. So like 24-hour fast.
Yeah.
Well, 36 counting the sleep.
Yeah, I woke up
Before
at
it.
4 a.m. Colt woke me up 4 a.m. of the weigh-in day, and I was under. So I was like, cool, I'll have a pikelet and some Gatorade. It's like 4 a.m. I'm like, oh yeah, food.
I woke up and had a bath.
I woke up and had a hot bath. I was like oh, I'm so sorry.
Sat in a hot bath and just like, mouth's dry. I'm so
It wasn't
thirsty.
even the hot bath, bro. This cut. I mean, it wasn't the worst cut in the world, but like, I'm like getting ready, blah blah blah. Lee's having a hot bath, lying. I go check him on his bedroom. He's on the floor, wrapped in doonas and trackies, like trying to sweat it out. I was like, okay, I'll leave you alone. Like, hey, Lee. Oh, no.
You want to go on? No.
Fuck, this orange juice is good.
It's like an easy enough of a cut. It's just not pleasant.
It's just not pleasant. Yeah.
It's you get out of a bath and you dry off and cool down, or you rug up and continue
Keep
to probably
sweating.
drop. It's an extra half kilo.
Yeah. Makes a difference.
I've been tracking it a couple of different cuts.
Yeah.
And if I'm quick enough with like socks,
Yeah,
trackies,
keep the
hoodie,
heat in, start sweating.
yeah, just lay on the couch
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
I can feel it on the couch. It's an extra half kilo.
Yeah.
And it's like, if it takes me half an hour to lose that in a bath, that's half an hour less that I'm in a bath.
Yeah.
I'll pick the
100%.
couch.
Yeah.
So it's just like heart rate
Yeah.
after bath.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah. It's not
For anyone that has done it.
Yeah.
In the bath, it's fine.
I don't like the bath. I get real like my heart rate's really high. I don't like sitting in there.
I don't notice or feel it. And I don't think 'cause I have a super hot bath. It tends to be like low and slow.
okay.
Like it's not super
I probably make
uncomfortable.
it quite hot, and I'm like a bit like I'm gonna have a cardiac arrest in this bath.
Mine's not that bad. For 20 minutes, I'm like, it's warm and I'm sweating. And then for the next 20 minutes, I'm actually really comfortable.
Settled in, yeah.
But I'm still like, well, I won't hop out because I'm
Sweating.
still kind of sweating.
Yeah.
And then when I do hop out for some reason, then I feel my heart.
Yeah.
Just from like the heat, standing up,
Yeah,
everything like
you get
that. And
out.
I'm like, I'm gonna
No
lay on the couch.
food, no water, like hyper, like heating yourself up.
Health.
You hit it here first.
Yeah.
I think that covers everything we wanted to talk about today.
Yeah.
Great. Love it.
Pretty much.
Thanks for listening to the Strongman Say. We welcome you back. Hope you enjoyed us talking about weight cuts at the end there. A little bit of rambling.
Weight cuts and Cocoa Pops.
Weight cuts and Cocoa Pops and over shopping.
Yeah.
We'll see you in a fortnight's time to talk about some training stuff and anything else that's happening in the strongman world.